right now this week, people are doing things that are actually setting their gardens back, and they don't even know it. And listen, I have done every single one of these things. So today what we're going to do is talk about exactly what you need to stop doing right now so your gardens can actually thrive once you start them. And if you fix just one of these 5 things, you are already further ahead than most gardeners are at this point. So let's get into it. All right, so the very first one, planting too early, y'all. Planting too early. This is probably the biggest one because just because it feels like the temperature is ready to plant doesn't mean it is. My zone, 9B, just north of Houston, we'll get stretches of weather where it feels great. This literally happened 3 weeks ago. My last expected frost date for this area is March 1st to March 3rd. It's always right in that range. Well, 5 days before the last expected frost date, I checked the 10-day forecast, and 80s at the highs, 60s at the lows for those 10 days. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put plants out here, which I did. Everything started growing, everything was great, and then the news came. Here comes 3 days of highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s when I already had everything out here planted. Too late then, right? Because I planted too early. Now, I did get lucky. I didn't really lose very much. I lost some pepper plants for the most part, but all the tomatoes and everything else are just fine. So where am I going with this? You don't want to get in that mindset of, okay, the weather's great, I'm going to plant. You want to wait and hope you don't get a false spring. So in my opinion and my advice, don't plant too early. Make sure that when you plant, it's the right time to plant. The forecasts are saying that the cold is behind you, because you'd rather deal with maybe planting outside a week or 2 later than you want to, as opposed to planting outside early and getting a cold snap and losing a bunch of stuff. Again, I got lucky, but that luck doesn't always hold up. Let's be real. So planting too early, don't do it. Okay, the second one, overwatering. Y'all, overwatering is one of those things that you think you're not doing anything wrong. You think you're just like, oh, the plants need water. If you water too much, it's too much. And I'm going to keep it incredibly real. This gets everybody. Everybody goes through this part of things that you need to avoid, and that is definitely too much water. Now, one thing to keep in mind, a lot of people don't realize, is that yes, we're always taught and we're always told, water your plants, water your plants, water your plants. Plants need water, plants need sun, plants need water, plants need water, right? Water, water, water. Okay, we all get that. But what a lot of people don't know, and especially beginner gardeners don't know, is those roots also need oxygen. They don't just need water, they need oxygen. So when you hear your soil needs to be a well-draining soil, the reason for that is you want the water to drain. Keep the soil moist, but drain the excess away. That way, air, oxygen can get down into the soil and get those roots exactly what they need. One thing I like to do is when I come out to water, I spot check my garden and I do the finger test. I'll put my finger into the soil about 2 inches in and see if the tip of my finger is moist. If it is, don't water that bed. Not watering actually does help the plants because it forces them to then push their roots further to go find what they need, i.e. water, if they need water. So that's also strengthening the root system and strengthening that plant. So overwatering is bad. Normal watering is good. And just remember, plants don't just need water. Their roots also need air, nutrients, and everything else. Because honestly, if you're overwatering, you're drowning those plants. Okay, point number 3, not hardening off your starts. I am very, very, very guilty of this one. Let me paint a picture for you. You're 2 to 3 months out from planting outside. You're backdating from your last expected frost date and everything. You start your seeds. You're going through everything it takes to start your seeds. You're getting the seed starting mix, all the seeds, your heat mats, your grow lights, and everything. Everything starts growing. You're excited. You've got these big, beautiful plants ready to go outside. You do not harden off those plants. You take them straight from inside to straight outside. You plant them, and 3 days later, they're all dead. And you're like, I don't know what happened. Well, what happened is you did not harden off those plants. I am guilty of this. For my first 2 years of gardening, I knew. Let me back up. My first year, I never heard of this. My second year, I knew what I needed to do. I just was like, Ever since then, hardening off your plants is, you've got to do it. And I've been doing it religiously since year 3 of me gardening. Now, what is hardening off your plants? You take your inside plants, and over a week to 10-day process, you'll bring your plants outside for 2 hours. Take them back inside. Next day, bring them out for maybe 3 hours. Take them back inside. And you just keep doing that kind of a thing until you've had your plants outside getting acclimated to everything out here, especially the sun. You do not want to take your indoor plants straight from indoors and throw them out here, because even if you have them on grow lights, those grow lights are nothing compared to that light. Make sense? So hardening off your plants, incredibly important. In fact, all these tomato plants behind me, except for 6, were grown inside. I hardened them off correctly, and look at them now. Y'all, you need to harden off your plants. It is an extra step, but if you're going to spend all that time growing them from seed, don't you want to get them in the ground without dying? So, point 3, hardening off your plants. Okay, mistake 4, overcrowding your plants. There's not a gardener alive that has not done this. In fact, I probably did this year with the tomatoes that I just showed. So I planted a whole bunch of plants over there. This one section has a lot in that one area, because honestly I wasn't sure if they were all going to take. Here's the thing, overcrowding is bad because, one, you're putting too much into one little area. Nutrients get sucked up, watering becomes an issue, and here's another thing, diseases. If you've got plants all crammed together on top of each other, one of them gets a disease, it's going to spread very quickly. So you do not want to overcrowd. You want to give the space that the plants need. And here's another thing a lot of people don't think about, is if you have plants growing at different stages, say you've got some, we'll use tomatoes as an example. So you got some tomato plants that are growing really fast and others that are growing kind of slow. If they're all crammed on top of each other, y'all, those tall ones are going to block out the sun from the younger ones or the smaller ones. So overcrowding is bad. You don't want to overdo it. And sometimes, let's be real, in gardening, less is actually more. Okay, mistake 5. And this is one that I preach about, I harp on a lot, are pests. Once you identify it as a pest, then address it immediately. However you want to do that, but address the pests immediately. Do not give them any time to continue spreading, reproducing, all that. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. So, mistake number 5, not addressing your pests early. All right, and a bonus mistake, not feeding your plants. Look, if you amend your beds and you have super healthy soil and they're all ready to rock and roll, don't forget that once you start planting in there, those nutrients are going to start getting used up. So you still need to feed your plants. You still need to feed your beds. You still need to add fertilizer, fresh compost, worm castings, whatever you want to do, but continue feeding your plants. Trust me, they're going to thank you. Okay, so look, gardening is a process. We've all done mistakes. The thing is to learn from them and to move on. And if you can fix 1, 2, or all of these mistakes, now you're going to have your gardens already set up in a perfect position to thrive and produce for you. So take these mistakes and delete them from what you do. And everyone, that's the video. If you all learned anything, if you got anything out of this video, if you enjoyed this video, do me the 5 favors: share, like, comment, hype, and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already, and join this fast growing community of like-minded gardeners here on YouTube. And y'all take care. May God continue to bless each and every one of you and your gardens and your gardening journey. And I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye.